What's up, guys? We are back for another betting breakdown, this time for UFC Paris, and we did have the week-long layoff, but it's good to be back, and we got a fun main event, a dope co-main event that I cannot, my favorite fight on the card, and some fun fights scattered around it. So thank you for watching. Make sure you leave a like on the video, leave a comment. My socials are going to be in the caption below. I will be live on Twitch for the fights, and before we get into it, I will say we were on a hot streak, and the card was even looking good. And in that main event, we were 24 minutes in, looking great, about to win some money. And the kick heard around the world. Congrats, Leon. That's what makes the sport great. That's what makes it so exciting. There's no points on a scoreboard. At any point, everything can change. 1 second, one strike, and that's the game. Betting MMA can be tough. I will say, I did realize, talking with some of you guys on Twitter, shout out to everybody who's always tweeting me, positive stuff or going back and forth with me MMA-wise. Even if we're disagreeing, it's all cool. But I will say, and a lot of you guys seem to agree with this, man, I went on a 7-fight card streak, leading into a month or two ago, and it's crickets. Well, the homies coming through. But I will say, you miss one bet you're confident on, and the floodgates open. So I will say, if you're watching this, you're good. I mean, you will be the only people who see my bets, because I've realized, you know what, Twitter, you guys are ungrateful. I went like 12-3 and 15 cards, profit wise, and you guys want to rake me over the coals, RAKE, for a bad pick? Well, not even a bad pick. Usman dominated 24 minutes of the fight. At the end of the day, if I could go back in time, I make that exact bet again. But Twitter, I would typically say right here, you can see my bets on Twitter. The caption's below. No, my socials are below. I will be live on Twitch. But if you want to see my bets, you're at the right spot right here, because you guys are just a different energy. You guys come through here, you watch the breakdowns, you understand, you see I put the work in. And Twitter, they just want that quick, quick solution. They don't want to see how and why things are done. They don't understand the hard work, the thousands of hours that goes into it. So if you want my bets, you came to the right place. Right here, I will try to do quick recap videos right before the card showing my bets. But the days of posting those on Twitter, man, I have made money month after month, year after year, consistently winning picks and bets. And the most viral, the most interactions I've ever gotten have been my biggest losses. So this is the one-stop shop for my bets. That out of the way. Appreciate y'all tuning in, leaving a like, leaving a comment, following me on the socials. Let's get into it. First fight of the night, we got Eileen Perez taking on Stephanie Edgar. Y'all know me. We're going to keep it kind of short on this, because quick question. Y'all think I'm betting on this fight? And unless y'all know my stance, low-level fighting in general, but low-level women's MMA, I look at one thing. Oh, here's a decently sized underdog. Is she worth betting on? Go through the tape a little bit on her. No, because she's fought absolutely nobody. 0-0 on amateur, then she goes pro. 0-2, 0-1, 0-0, 0-0, 5-5. Oh, decent enough record. 4-1 and a loss, and for illegal knees, but still went back and watched it. Not impressed by the performance. Then bounces back over an 0-1, and she gets her one legitimate win in her last fight, 8-4. But even then, you go through her fights, and she did lose to Caitlin Chouquet again, but it was like, okay, yeah, this girl hasn't really, those wins aren't coming over anybody. It's very great. Anyways, Stephanie Edgar, she's fought the much better opponents. She is coming off that weird submission, non-submission. Some people, I've seen both, some people say, oh, you can never see it on the tape, but I will say, as somebody who had that fight bet to go to decision and did not want to see that armbar happen, the way Edgar was acting made me see maybe she did tap and it just wasn't covered on the cameras. Do they need to add a couple extra cameras for this situation? They probably do. It was a weird situation, though. If she didn't tap, damn, that sucks. But it does seem like she did. She's bouncing right back. And I really think this is a good bounce back matchup for her. Maybe the UFC's like, damn, you didn't tap. Maybe they saw, or maybe, they're just like, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she didn't tap. We'll give her an easy bounce back win. Because I look through Perez and I just don't see it. Maybe on the feet she can, it'll be close. But I just feel like Edgar's going to be able to get her down, probably pretty quick. And as much as if I'm going to bet a low-level women's MMA fight, if I'm not taking the underdog, I'm looking for the overs. This isn't one I like. I actually think Edgar's going to get it done and get it done inside the distance. I'm going to take Edgar by submission. I think the first time she gets on top of Perez is going to be a levels thing. I could see her submitting her. I could see her controlling her for a couple rounds. I'm going to go Perez. I'm actually going to go Perez I said Perez. I'm going to go Edgar. I'm going to go Edgar by submission. It could be a first round submission too. I would not be surprised. Next fight though, this is a banger. We got Khalid Taha taking on Christian Quinones. And Taha, man, a lot of you guys know he did beat Bruno Silva, but then he popped for performance enhancers. And then the UFC's like, oh, okay, you want to, beat Bruno Silva on the juice? We're going to go ahead and give you Hani Barcelos and Sergey Morozov, two savages back to back. So, his stock's low right now. It does seem like people are still smart enough to see that, this ain't Hani Barcelos. This isn't, Morozov. Nothing against Quinones. He's a good grappler. I watched his last couple of fights, and definitely got, he's definitely solid. And his striking's not bad either. But I do think there's a big power difference. Taha cracks, and yeah, you could say, well, he's off the juice now. What's going to happen? That is the one X factor for me, because if it wasn't for that, if he would never popped then, and I didn't have those question marks about how the shape he's going to be in and how much of his career has he been on this sauce, this and that, then I would probably be, more confident enough to bet him. I haven't made a bet on this fight, but I am going to have to go with Taha. I feel like everybody that I, know and respect has kind of been going Quinones, but I don't know. I just feel like Taha's firepower on the feet. The big thing is if Quinones can weather that early storm, I could see Taha slowing down. I could see him gassing out. I do think Quinones has the better gas tank, and Taha, he just seems to get tired towards the end of every fight. But I don't know if it's going to make it there. I could see Taha clipping him, putting him out early. And if he doesn't, I think he could put enough damage in those first 2 rounds to be able to win the fight. It's a close fight. I see why the line's so close, and I don't have a bet on it yet for a reason. But, I am going to go Taha. I'm going to go Taha by KO. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, I really like this fight. We got Benoit Saint Denis taking on Gabriel Miranda, and you got to respect that mustache. Didn't know Gabriel Miranda going into this fight, so I had to go back and watch a good amount of tape. And one thing I saw is, this Face the Danger. If you take a look at this promotion that he has a good amount of fights under, this promotion has been flagged by Tapology for a pattern of record padding and mismatches. Unless further evidence emerges regarding the legitimacy of these events, new bouts belonging to this promotion will be flagged, this and that. So, red flag. Went through, and it's just weird, man. First, 1-1, 0-1, 1-1, 0-2, 1-3, 0-0, 0-7, 1-3, 2-1, 0-8, but then the 2-1 guys. Now 4-5, and he was also fighting bums, should be noted. Going in past that, 0-8. Oh, 6-0. Oh, damn. This guy, let's take a look. Oh, this is one of his more legitimate wins, but then you look at who this guy's fighting. It's like, oh, okay, nobody as well. So it's just a bunch of cans fighting cans. And then, where were we? Yeah, and I mean, you just go through, I respect the mustache, but, 0-8, 6-0. And then 22-19 lost that one. At least that guy had experience. Wagner Rocha, most obviously a grappler. I've seen Wagner Rocha grapple in person. Sick grappler, but getting knocked out by him in the first round, it's a little tough. And then he's 5-0 at Face the Danger. It's I don't even know if these fights ever existed. They don't show the result. You can't find it online. Is Diego Oliveira even a real guy? That promotion is sketchy. Like, you gotta, man, y'all think that stuff doesn't happen, you're crazy. It happens all the time. Even this guy, it's like 5-1, can't find the fight. And both those guys 5-0, and it's like, you can't find the fight. One of them's that sketchy promotion, Face the Danger. Parana Regional, like, red flag. And then he's fighting right after that 11-4, and he's fighting a 0-0 guy. Like, and then he fought Fernando Noriega, and I mean, all these fights are just it's just nothing is impressive. And anytime you fight somebody remotely good, Ahmed Magomedov, that one didn't go good for him, got dominated, and his last fight, he's fighting a guy 5-5, and now he's going to the UFC, and he's fighting a French fighter in France. What do you think the UFC? You think the UFC didn't do the amount of research that I did into Gabriel Miranda before they brought him in here? Like, no, they know what they're doing. They're saying, oh, okay, cute little mustache, some tats. Bring this guy in here to come in there and make Benoit Saint Denis look good. Saint Denis coming off a good win over Nicholas Stoltzfus, the homie. Shout out to the green mask. But, I just feel like they're building him up a little bit. It's in France. They need some, they want to get the crowd pumped early in the card. So they put Benoit out here. He's going to be able to take Miranda down. Miranda's going to be looking for submissions off his back, but I just don't see him catching him. I really don't see him being able to put him out on the feet. And Benoit, crazy durable. A lot of you guys know him for the durability he showed in that Zaleski fight. The ref literally getting sent home right after the fight because he refused to stop the fight. Pretty insane. I just think Benoit, better on the feet, more powerful. He's going to be able to get the takedowns when he wants. He's going to be on top. All he has to do is avoid the submission, and it's going to be a pretty easy win for him. I got Benoit Saint Denis. I'm going to take him by decision. Next up, we got Nasser Mamov taking on Joaquin Buckley. This one should, right after the decision, make the crowd wild. Maybe Benoit will get a finish. I don't know. Mamov, Buckley. I've always thought Buckley a little bit overrated. He had the craziest knockout of all time against Impa Casagne. And then he barely, he had a little bit of sketchy fight with Jordan Wright, man. Jordan Wright won that first round. But the problem with Jordan Wright is he just can't take a punch. He's a glass cannon. So once he hit him with something good, it was over. Then he gets head kicked by Alessio, who we're going to be talking about later. And then it's like these wins afterwards. I mean, did he beat Abdul Razak? I don't know. And then, the Derived fight, yeah, that was a pretty good one. He beat him up pretty good. And Antonio Arroyo, I mean, that was, I'm not very high on him. So, he is on a 3-fight winning streak, but I see why he's a pretty big underdog here. I mean, Mamov, he's been looking really good. He obviously put a beating on Shabazian in that last fight. That was the best he's ever looked. And beat Ian Heinisch, too. Like, that's a different level, man, that he fought. And Phil Haas, he gets a lot of shit, but he is a dangerous guy. Went the decision. I'm sure he learned a lot from that. He's 26. And this is, again, a French guy in France. The UFC knows what they're doing. I really feel like he's a sniper. And I feel like, we've seen Buckley go against a sniper before. In that Holland fight, and he got picked apart. And I think it's going to go like that Holland fight. I think Mamov is going to be catching him with stuff on the outside. And, I mean, Buckley, for how short he is, he's not, incredibly short. But at middleweight 5'10", he's got some pretty long arms, 76-inch reach. But he just, the way he fights is just these long sniper-esque guys are going to be able to catch him on the outside. And that's not really who he's been going up against. But I feel like Mamov, man, I think he can clip him. I know Mamav's the better grappler. Will he be able to take Buckley down? I think that's going to be tough. But I do think on the feet, where this fight's going to play out mostly, Mamav's going to be able to get it done. So I got Mamov. I'm going to take Mamov by KO. I think he's going to clip him with something big and put him out. And next fight, we got Faraz Zayem taking on Mikhail Figlock. And another guy I didn't know coming into this fight. But I'm glad this fight got booked and I had a chance to look this guy up because this is a potential prospect, man. I like what I've seen out of this guy, man. 8-0. And yeah, has he fought the toughest guys? But Cage Warriors, at least a legitimate regional promotion, had a long amateur career, went 8-1 or 8-2. Fought Jack Shore. One of those losses was to Jack Shore. Fighting some tough guy. Or no. What am I talking about? He went 10-2. And then in his pro career, like, has he fought the greatest competition? No, but since going to Cage Wars, 3-0, 4-3, 5-3, 6-1, 7-2, 15-3. Last 3 being decisions, but I honestly see, like, this guy does have finish potential as well. And the thing about him is he puts pressure on guys. And one thing Zion doesn't like is pressure. I mean, even in his in that win he had over Luigi Vandermini, Luigi was walking him down there at the end. He did not like that. And then obviously gets smoked out by McKinney. I just don't like what I've seen from Zion, man. This guy throws no volume. He just looks for the big shot. If he catches Mikhail Figlock, could he put him out? Yeah, he does have power, Zion. Some people don't think that these, like, skinny, long, lanky-looking dudes that will have the most power. But nah, Zion does have power. He could put you out. If you catch him with a big knee, a big straight shot from the outside, he does fight pretty long. He could put Mikhail out, but I just don't see it happening. I think the pressure from Figlock, the walking him down, he's going to throw way more volume. And the only way I see Zion winning this is by KO. If you're going to bet Zion, I just think you bet him by knockout because he doesn't throw enough. And then Figlock can take him down. He's a better grappler. He's a better wrestler. He's going to throw more volume. So how is Zion going to win rounds? I don't think he is. I'm going to take Mikhail by... the prop kind of throws me off. I'm going to say decision, but I could see it going... I could see him getting the submission. I could see him ground and pounding him out. But I'm gonna take it, Mikhail, and I'm gonna take him by decision. Next up, we got Dustin Stoltzfus taking on Magomedov, and I'm not attempting that first name. Just out of respect, I'm not gonna butcher it. Dustin Stoltzfus, man, he's had a tough run. I mean, he did bounce back with a win in his last fight over Dwight Grant. A weird fight. Dwight Grant's just been not impressive. But, he didn't have the easiest matchups. Kyle Dawkins is legit. Adolfo Vieira as a grappler, that's tough. And then another guy who's like, oh, you want to take him down? This guy is going to, that's exactly where he wants in Gerald Meerschaert. He's fighting Magomedov, who's coming off a long layoff. I mean, his last fight was in 2020, but he only had one fight then, and he's only had one fight since 2019. And even then, that was his only fight of 2019. So it's like, since 2018, since the end of 2018, he's had 2 fights. It's definitely a red flag. But I will say, this dude's big, he's jacked. And I do think that in this fight, man, he presents some problems for Dustin. Because Dustin wants to take you down. He wants to get on top. He's a decent grappler. But I just think it's going to be tough for him to get the takedown. On the feet, he's not a great striker. Neither one of these guys are amazing strikers. I think Magomedov's going to have a power advantage. Just probably an overall, because of the power, a little bit of an advantage on the feet. So Dustin's going to get it to the mat, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to take Magomedov down. I mean, you hear Magomedov, you think he's some outrageous wrestler, and I wouldn't say all that, but I do think it's going to be a little bit tough for Dustin to be able to take him down. And I could see Magomedov getting a takedown of his own, getting a couple takedowns of his own. And if he gets on top of Dustin, it's like, yeah, he's got good jiu-jitsu. It's solid jiu-jitsu, but I don't think it's going to be enough to close that gap. And I think he's going to be on his back, a decent amount. And on the feet, I think it's going to be close. So I'm going to go Magomedov. The line is too wide, but I just have never been a big Dustin Stoltzfus guy. Maybe he can, keep his job here and get this win. But the layoff does scare me a little bit, Magomedov. But I just feel like, he's only 32. He'll be okay. I'm sure he's getting better behind the scenes. And I think this is a winnable fight for him. So I'm going to go Magomedov. I'm going to go by decision because Stoltzfus has been a durable guy. He's been tough to finish. But I do think Magomedov gets it done. Next fight, an absolute banger. We got Charles Jourdain taking on Nathaniel Wood. This is a really interesting fight, man. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see Jourdain as a decent favorite. I mean, Jourdain obviously had a really close fight with Shane Burgos in his last one. Some people think he won that. I did have Shane Burgos winning, but I was biased. I had money on Burgos. But I mean, Jourdain, he latched up that quick sub on Lando Venata. He beat the piss out of Andre Ewell. He did, get taken down, get choked out by Julian Erosa, got tired. But in that Rojo fight, put an absolute beat. I mean, Ewell, Rojo, even Venata at this point of his career, those aren't the greatest, most high caliber wins. And getting sat down and almost knocked out by Joshua Culibao was not great. But I have liked his last couple, at least the last two. I mean, the Lando fight was quick, but that was a nasty guillotine. He looked good, and the Shane Burgos fight was impressive. Shane Burgos is a beast, and I see why everybody's picking Jourdain, and I see why he can be the favorite. But I do feel like he has to knock Nathaniel Wood out. Nathaniel Wood, he did have a bit of a layup against Charles Rosa, who just has no takedown defense, no power, just durable, and that's basically it. In his last fight. But it's like, man, you look at his losses, like Dodson can knock anybody out. He's so quick. He's so fast and powerful. Literally might be the quickest and like powerful at that weight class. Like, I mean, obviously there's Figgy, but Dodson, man, it's like that dude is an absolute just beast, man. He's so slept on because he's like dorky and his fights go to decisions and But, like, if he catches you with one of them shots, I mean, he's so fast. He could put you out so easy. And Casey Kenny, that was a great fight. I had money on Casey Kenny, and I was sweating. So, great fight. Nathaniel Wood, he's a beast, man. He's good everywhere. Jourdain's going to have to knock him out. We've seen Wood, that if there's a weakness on him, he does get clipped. He has been put out before. But it's like, man, getting knocked out by Dodson, it's like, I really can't give him too much flack for that. Do I see Jourdain submitting him off his back? I don't. I think Nathaniel Wood's the much better grappler. Jourdain does have submissions, but I just feel like Nathaniel Wood's grappling is good enough to avoid the submissions, be on top. And his striking's good too. But the thing is, man, you don't want to sit here and just strike with Jourdain. Jourdain's going to be the much more dangerous guy on the feet. Nathaniel Wood's a good striker, and he's dangerous on the feet too, but not Jourdain dangerous. Jourdain, if he strikes too long, he's going to get put out. But I feel like Wood can take him down. Control him. If Erosa can submit him, why can't Nathaniel Wood? And I like the dog money too, man. And I haven't laid it yet, but I am thinking a dog shot on Nathaniel Wood. And I haven't heard anybody picking him yet. It's weird. It's like, I mean, I've heard some UK homies that are like, oh, Nathaniel Wood, next champ. Maybe that's a stretch, but, this is featherweight, and I get people like, oh, he got knocked out by flyweight Dodson. It's like, man, y'all sleep on Dodson too hard. He also put out TJ Dillashaw, okay? So, like, Dodson can catch anybody. I mean, if we want to go on by that accord, it's like a lot of refs stopped that Culibao fight. So, I mean, I'd rather get knocked out by Dodson than knocked out by Josh Culibao. I don't know, man. I like the underdog odds. I think he's the much more well-rounded fighter. Jourdain's going to be more dangerous on the feet. I'm thinking Nathaniel Wood, maybe a little. I almost want to say hedge, but Nathaniel Wood's the freaking underdog. Little Jourdain by KO or something like that. KO third round. I mean, he turns it up in that third round. Maybe you could get him out of there. But I'm gonna go Nathaniel Wood, man. I wouldn't play a prop. He's an underdog. I just take him straight. I like Nathaniel Wood. I haven't bet it yet, but I'm thinking I'm gonna. I don't know, man. I want to maybe take a look at the weigh-in because it is a close fight. It's a good fight, but, man, underdog Nathaniel Wood, I think this guy's a very good fighter. I'm going to go Nathaniel Wood. I'm going to go Nathaniel Wood by decision, but I wouldn't really play a prop. Just take that even money. Next up, I don't really 100% know why this is on the main card, but, French fighter, so I guess I kind of get it. William Gomis taking on Jarno Arens. And went through and watched a couple of these guys' fights. They are good, man. This Gomis guy he's really explosive, really dangerous, powerful. I mean, lots of finishes on that record. Definitely not fighting the greatest competition. But, Arens, not entirely himself either. I mean, look at some of these records. I do think Aaron's probably the better striker overall. At least it's going to be very competitive. But I think Gomes can take him down. His ground and pound's nasty. He's really good at mixing in that shot off his striking. Kind of interesting seeing him at such a big favorite. I think this is close. I mean, I will pick him. I do think he's a little bit more well-rounded. If he goes out here and grapples, I think he will look like a -220 favorite. But, man, a couple of the fights I watched, it's like I feel like he has a grappling advantage on these guys, but he's just striking. So if he does that, 25, he wants to come out here, prove himself, wants to come out here and get a highlight reel knockout, he could get put out himself, man. Aaron's is dangerous on the feet. Overall, not one I'm really looking to bet. Just because I do go with Gomes, and too much of a favorite for a guy making his debut for me. Y'all know me; I'm good on that now. I'm retired off betting on debut fighters unless I have a very good reason to do so, and I don't have a very good reason to do so here. So I'm gonna go Gomes, but I am not confident enough to bet a -220. Next up, I'm gonna take him. That's tough. I'm going to take him by decision, but a knockout could very well. Actually, yeah, I'm going to take him by ground and pound knockout. That's being hopeful that he's going to mix in that grappling, though. Next up, we got Nasrat Haqparast taking on John Makdessi. And Haqparast, man, I don't know, man. I mean, he was a big prospect in a lot of people's eyes, and I was waiting to see more. I mean, that win over Rafa Garcia didn't really do it for me. To a lot of people thought he was like the guy. I mean, yeah, he had already been knocked out by Drew Dober, but he's still really young, and he's still young, but I haven't. And even before then, I mean, he lost to Marcin Held, and I get that was his debut, but I mean, he had a couple good fights. I mean, Mark Diakese, but Mark Diakese seemed to have been getting a lot better these past couple years, and obviously they're both young, but I just feel like since that Drew Dober KO, like his last couple of fights, I mean, the Dan Hooker fight, he got absolutely outclassed, beat on the feet, beat in the clinch, beat on the ground. Bobby Green, he just doesn't let his hands go. Bobby Green just kind of toys with him, beats the piss out of him. And now we're getting him as like a -225 favorite. I mean, I get John Makdessi's 37. I get that he's coming off injuries. He's not going to try to go out there and really mix in some or like have some grappling heavy game plan. So I get it. But it's just, I think, man, freaking Makdessi, he's taking this fight really serious. These guys are former training partners. Nasrat's been talking a bunch of shit. And I think Makdessi is motivated. I think he's talking about he's healthy for the first time in a while. He's coming off a close win, but still a win over Ignacio Bahamondes. I don't know, man. I think people are sleeping on Makdessi a little bit, man. Almost 2-1 dog over a guy who just has not been looking great. I get that Nasrat is 27 and Makdessi is 37 at a lower weight class, and he's had a lot of injuries, and he's the smaller guy. But Bahamondes was a much bigger guy too, and I mean, yeah, it was a close fight, but people slept on him there too, and I think Makdessi is a beast, man. I think it's going to be a striking affair, but Nasrat hasn't been letting his hands go. And he's not like so dangerous on the feet that I think he's just going to put Makdessi out. I don't know. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to go to decision. And one of them is a 2-1 underdog. So, man, I'm going to side with the underdog. I'm going to, gun to my head. I don't know. Even still, I wouldn't be, picking. I don't know if I would even pick Nasrat if it was even money. I mean, I guess, given, the injuries, the age, the fact how much he's been asking for this fight when they're former training partners, maybe there's something to that. But I'm not confident enough for sure to bet -225. I think the value is for sure on Makdessi, and I'm even going to go to the extent of picking Makdessi. I'm going to go Makdessi, close decision, split decision, but he's going to get it done. And he is a decent underdog, so I like it. Next up, though, we got Alessio Chirico taking on Roman Kopylov. And Kopylov, not a good last couple fights, man. I mean, Duraev, they could have stopped that fight. I mean, they probably should have stopped that fight. But more importantly, Roberson, the kickboxer, who was taking him down, who choked him out, and just dominated. I mean, to get out grappled by Carl Roberson, and now you're fighting a guy, and yeah, Chirico isn't some like beast grappler, but I mean, I feel like he's a better grappler than freaking Carl Roberson. And I mean, Chirico, man, I mean, he's been hit or miss. He's 1-4 in his last 5, so it's not great. But I mean, Kevin Holland, that was a close fight, and I like Kevin Holland, but I think Chirico might have won that fight. Magmed Muradov, he's a beast. I mean, that's not the worst loss. The Zach Cummins fight, okay, yeah, that's not the greatest loss. And getting knocked out by Abdul, yeah, but if you're gonna lose to Abdul Razak, like you better get knocked out in the first round, because that's his best path to victory. In that first round, you can say what you want about Razak, but in that first round, he is a scary dude. And obviously, he beat Buckley by head kick, who we were just talking about. I don't know. I mean, yeah, on paper, I get it. Well, why people are like kind of sleeping on Chirico, but I feel like on the feet he's a little bit better of a striker. On the ground he's a bit better of a grappler. I just feel like his fight IQ gets him in trouble sometimes. Shooting takedowns at the wrong times, not shooting takedowns when he should shoot takedowns. So do I really want to trust him? I really don't, but it is an even line, and I've just never been big on Kopylov, man. I mean, he came into the UFC and got destroyed and out grappled by Carl Roberson. I mean, destroyed might be a strong word, but like when I was watching that fight, I was stunned. Not that I went into it thinking Roman was some kind of beast, but like, bro, why is Roberson taking you down that easily, and then submitting you? He's a kickboxer, and that's what happens to him in his fights. So I would never bet Kopylov. I mean, I won't. I guess never say never, but even money with a guy who, yeah, he's 1-4 in his last 5, but I feel like skills wise, Chirico is better than Kopylov basically everywhere. So I'm gonna go to Chirico. It's almost a little tempting to bet, but the guy is 1-4 in his last 5. I mean, his fight IQ is just not great. Do I really want to trust him to go out there and use like a smart game plan, take this guy down? I mean, it's not. I think he can strike with him too, but dude, if anybody Roberson can out-grapple and dominate like that on the ground, you should be trying to do the same thing. So I'm gonna go Alessio Chirico, but it's not one. I get why the line's close. I am gonna go to Chirico though, just the better fighter in my opinion. I'm gonna take him by decision. Next up, we got my favorite fight in the card: Robert Whittaker taking on Marvin Vettori, and I am biased. I'm gonna let y'all know right out the gate. Robert Whittaker, one of my favorite fighters. Big fan of his. Used to watch his stream all the time when he streamed on Twitch. I think he streams on Facebook or something like that, so I haven't seen him because I don't use that. But he used to be in there all the time. Super humble, super great guy. So I will come out the top and tell you that I'm a bit biased. But I like Marvin too, man, especially in that Costa fight. He won me over as a fan. 90% of the roster would have said, you're going to change the weight class twice the week of the fight. I'm out. Peace. And the UFC still probably pay you at least your show because that is insane. Paulo Costa, man. I can't wait. Coming off that Luke fight. I mean, respect to Luke, but I was not impressed by Paulo's win there, and I truly think Paulo's going to get stomped by if they give him anybody at the top of this division next. But that being said, man, Marvin Vettori did take that crazy head kick in the 5th from Paulo Costa and getting hit by that from Paulo Costa and eating it. I literally think Marvin Vettori, he has an argument that he is the most durable fighter in the UFC right now. He is one of the most durable. That dude has a cement block for a head. I do think Robert Whittaker could put him down. I think he could knock him down. But I don't know if he's going to be able to knock him out. I don't know if we'll ever see Vettori get knocked out. Unless he fights for another, 7-8 years. We might never see this guy get put out. He's just one of them type of dudes who he's durable as hell. Speaking of durability, people have been trying to knock my boy Robert for that, yeah, he's been put down a couple times. Izzy did put him down his last fight. People forget though, man, that fight was competitive as hell. Like, there's people who thought he won that fight. It was very close, Not gonna lie, when I was watching it live, and I'm biased as hell, man, I love Robert Whittaker. Such a humble, dope dude. So, yeah, I wanted to see him as the champion. So, maybe I'm just biased, but, man, you could make an argument he won 3 of those rounds. But Izzy did have the most impactful part of the fight, putting him down in that first, landing some good hands on him. He did get clipped in that Jared Cannonier fight. He did get clipped in that Darren Till fight. He got knocked out by Izzy the first time. He got knocked around a bit by Romero both times. But this dude's mental, like he battles through. He might get put down, but this guy has the fucking will of a champion, man. And I don't think this fight's gonna be a finish on either side. I think Vettori, more so because he's just cast iron. I mean, obviously he's tough as hell with heart too. And Robert Whittaker, maybe he doesn't have Vettori durability, but the man makes up for it in insane heart and will to win and fight IQ. He makes mid-round adjustments, champ shit, things that only you see out of the elite of the elite. One thing you see that's rare in fighting is being able to make round-by-round adjustments. Only the best can do that. People come in with a set game plan, and if that game plan doesn't work, it's typically GG for them. What's even more rare than that is making mid-round adjustments. That is what separates the great fighters from the elite. And that's something that Robert Whittaker does best, man. You clip him with a big shot, he might have been outstriking you for a minute, but you hit a clip him with a big shot, he knows he's hurt. Boom. He hits a nice takedown. And it's never just like desperation, diving for legs. It's like he sets it up. Even when he's hurt, he has a nasty poker face, and he will mix in a combination right into a takedown. He's got nasty kicks to the legs, to the body, to the head, combinations. He's always throwing nasty combinations, his blitzes in and out. His fight IQ, though, is what brings all these skills together, because he's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got good wrestling over at the Australian national team. He's got, good cage work, good defensive, wrestling, takedown defense. People are saying, oh, Vettori going to go in there and take him down. Maybe he can take him down, but is he going to be able to take him down consistently? Is he going to be able to hold him down? Because I don't see it. And I've seen some people who do, and I just don't see it. Who have we seen just go in there and just take down Rob and just hold him down take him down repeatedly or hold him down, either or? Like, I don't see it. I think Robert Whittaker, maybe he gets taken down. Maybe he'll eat a big shot at some point. But Vettori, not really a knockout guy. Only has 2 knockouts in his career. He's not some super heavy-handed guy. I mean, obviously he's a big, strong guy. If he hits you with a clean shot, he can put you out. But I don't think he's going to be the one to put Robert out. Yeah, Izzy might be able to do that, but I just don't see it. Robert Whittaker's a beast, and I think he's a little bit more technical everywhere. Vettori is a meat and potatoes type of guy. He's just really good at the basics, and he's just really fundamentally sound, and he just, he wins rounds, and he's good everywhere, but he's not fantastic anywhere. I think Rob is more technical really everywhere, maybe besides the wrestling. But even then, honestly, I think Robert might honestly be the better wrestler. As far as technique, he's, in my opinion, the better wrestler. Vettori is just a little bigger, a little stronger, and when the skills are close, that matters. So maybe, Vettori can take him down, but can he hold him there? I think 5. People are saying 3 rounds might favor Whittaker. I actually disagree with that, though. I think 5 rounds, the fight IQ would really take over. Vettori does have a good gas tank, and he is durable, and maybe that would give him more time to try to catch Rob. But I think that would have honestly only helped Rob. But even on 3 rounds, man, I mean, maybe the line is a little wide. Vettori is, probably the 3rd best middleweight, in my opinion, behind Izzy and Rob. But I still think Rob should get it done, man. I think he's just a little bit better everywhere. And I just don't see Rob losing to anybody besides Izzy in this division right now. So, could Vettori get it done? Yes. I mean, it's basically the 2 and 3 guy in the division fighting, so obviously that can happen. So, with that being said, is the line a little bit wide? Maybe you could argue that. That being said, though, I like Rob. I like Rob to get it done. I'm going to take him by decision. I don't see anybody finishing Vettori anytime soon. Let's get into the main event. Main event, man. I mean, it's the main event, and it's the one that I know a lot of. I mean, the co-main is the people's main event, in my opinion. But this is a great fight. Everybody loves Tai Tuivasa. I mean, what, 5 in a row, all by knockout? I mean, how can you not love the guy? Derek Lewis faced some adversity, comes back and knocks him out. Sakai, he faced a little adversity in that first round too. And they didn't take a lot of damage, but he lost that first round, in my opinion. Knocks him out in the second round. Greg Hardy, I mean, obviously knocked him out early, but we saw Greg Hardy clipped him with a big shot, just gets put out. Harry Hunsucker, okay, that one was a bit of a gimme. Stefan Struve, okay, yeah, that one was a bit of a gimme. And he's made me money on, most of these fights. I've never, besides the Derek Lewis one. But it does seem like, I get why the line's so wide. Cyril Gane's just going to throw so much more volume. He's going to win the rounds. He's going to have a grappling advantage. He's going to be the bigger guy. I mean, yeah, Ty is a 265er, but, he's 6'4" with an 83-inch reach. I mean, so technically, yeah, Ty might weigh more, but Cyril Gane he's a massive frame, man. You saw when he fought Francis, oh, wow, this guy can, he doesn't look small out there with Francis. That's a first. Ty, he's definitely a big guy himself. And he's got good clinch work. If he puts Gane up against the cage, I think he can do some decent work there. He's got nasty leg kicks. I think that's, something he's going to need to utilize here. But overall, I just feel like he absolutely has to knock Gane out. Is he going to win a 5-round decision over Gane? No. Is he going to submit Gane? No. So he's got to knock him out. So if you're betting Ty, just take him by knockout. That being said, man, I just feel like Gane, man, I know people don't think he's going to be a finisher. He's really a finisher, but I think he's going to finish Ty, man. I think late into the fight, he will finish Ty. The pace they're going to fight at, Ty constantly trying to crash the pocket, trying to clip him with something big. It's going to force him to use a little bit more energy than he wants. I'm going to go Gane, 4th round TKO. I just feel like he's just a little bit too technical, man. And Ty's been getting off, just getting these guys into brawls and knocking them out. I mean, he's not just a brawler. Like I said, good clinch work, good leg kicks. His wrestling's gotten better, but is he going to go out here and really wrestle Gane? Nobody thought Francis was going to either, but I just don't really see that happening unless he's made massive improvements, behind the scenes, and I got to go with what I've seen. So I'm going to go Gane, 4th round TKO. Ty might have, he might land a big shot. He could clip and put him out. But, if I got to pick, I'm going to go Gane, late finish. The line is too wide. I will not be betting that. All that being said, this line keeps going, man. I might have to go Ty by KO and just a little sprinkle because it's the only way he wins. He's not going to win a decision. He's not going to submit him. He's got to knock him out. It's a heavyweight fight. Ty has knocked 5 straight guys out. Could he make it 6? He damn sure could. I'm going to go Cyril Gane, late finish. But, would not be surprised in the slightest if Ty were able to knock him out. All right, though, that is all my picks. I'm going to let you guys know about my bets. I will not be tweeting it. I'll do a short video just saying my bets. So look out for that. I'm going to probably post that. Since the fights are early Saturday, I'll probably post it Friday night. But that's it for me, man. Actually, real quick, I know you guys like when I do it. I'll go Cyril Gane, 4th round TKO. Robert Whittaker, decision. Alessio Chirico, decision. John Makdessi, decision. Gomez, knockout. Nathaniel Wood, decision. Magomedov, decision. Figlock. I'm going to go decision. Damn, I picked a lot of decisions. Mamov by knockout. Benoit St. Denis. Submission maybe or decision. But I guess I'll pick decision. Khalid Taha, knockout. Stephanie Edgar, submission. That's going to be my picks. I'll let you guys know about the bets. I gave you a little bit of a feel throughout this. Ty by knockout, I don't blame you. Robert Whittaker, I'll probably be putting in a 2-fighter parlay. I'll probably also, or I might just take the over in that and then bet an additional bet, Robert Whittaker by decision. I like Robert Whittaker by decision. Marvin Vettori is so goddamn durable, so why not get a better price? I'm going to let you guys know, I'm taking Robert Whittaker by decision. I'm going to bet that. But I might either throw him in a parlay, maybe throw the over on. I want to, weigh my options a little bit. I'm tempted to throw something on Alessio. I said I wouldn't anymore. Not that I bet him a lot, but after that last fight, I was like, okay, not somebody you really want to count on. But even line, God, I don't know. These are both fades, but Kabalov is a bigger fade in my opinion. Makdessi as an underdog, I'm tempted. Haven't yet. Nathaniel Wood as an underdog, maybe a little sprinky on Jourdain by KO. It's really the only way I see. I mean, maybe he latched up the sub. Maybe more Jourdain inside the distance if you want to do that. Be careful because he does have a nasty guillotine. Outside of that, wouldn't really be trying to trust Mamov at that price. Maybe like fight-ins by KO because I really think either way this goes, it's probably going to end by knockout. I like Benoit Saint Denis a good amount. He's one of my more confident players. I'm really not a huge fan of this Miranda guy's skill set. And that's about it betting wise so far. I'm gonna keep looking around. I want to look at all these props, see if I can get an edge on any of these lines, but that's where my mind's at right now. Appreciate you guys watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and we have Friday multiverses. If you're into that, we have Sunday UFC 4 and Fight Night. The links to that, my league, DGL Dank Gaming League, is going to be in the caption below right under my socials. Give me a follow on there. Help more people find these. I appreciate you guys. Make some money. Enjoy the fights. Peace.